Okay, first thing we're going to be meal prepping are buffalo chicken egg rolls, and these are for our lunch today. I have a bowl of cooked chicken, and we are going to shred it using the hand mixer. When shredding chicken like this, make sure that you use a really, really deep bowl because it does have a tendency to fly all over the place. I shredded it for a very long time because I wanted it pretty finely shredded. Okay, and now what we need to do is measure out 2 cups of the shredded chicken, approximately. And then we will be saving the rest for another recipe. We're going to put that into the bowl with 1/3 of a cup of wing sauce, 1/3 of a cup of fat-free plain Greek yogurt, and 3 tablespoons of whipped cream cheese. And we're going to mix it all up until it's very well combined. You can put as much or as little of the wing sauce in as you like, to your heat preference. And if you don't want to use the wing sauce, you can use the Frank's Hot. I think the wing sauce is just a little more mild, and I am a spice wimp. Okay, and once we have it all mixed, we need to start filling our egg roll wrappers. Okay, now we're going to fill our egg roll wrappers. Take some of this mix, spread it out onto the wrapper. And then I just wet all 4 sides. Fold the edges in, and then the top, and just roll them up and set them aside. I generally get about 8, sometimes a little bit more, depending on how much filling I put in. You can be very precise and weigh the filling and divide it by 8, but I kind of eyeball it. I will finish these up and then show you how to cook them. Okay, the air fryer is heated to 390 degrees. I'm going to spray the inside, and then I'm going to place the egg rolls in. I ended up doubling the recipe because my son is home and I didn't think 8 would be enough for the 4 of us. I'm going to have to do them in batches. When buying an air fryer, bigger is definitely better. This is the 6-quart, and I wish it was bigger. I'm not one to like keeping things out on the counter, or I probably would buy a new one and buy the like the toaster oven kind, but I don't like stuff out on my counter. Okay, now I'm just going to give them a quick spritz with some olive oil spray and put them in for 8 minutes. If you are doing them in the oven, put the oven on 400 degrees, bake them for 8 to 10 minutes, flip them and bake them for another 5 more. So in 8 minutes, we'll see what they look like. And here is the first batch out of the air fryer. When there's about 2 minutes left, I flip them over so the other side would get nice and golden brown. I'm going to finish frying up the rest of them. They do hold well in the refrigerator for a couple days, so not only will we be eating these for lunch today, but I'm sure for the rest of the week. Okay, the next thing we're going to be making are the chicken and potato baskets. They are actually going to be for dinner tonight. So I started with 30 ounces of thawed, shredded hash browns, frozen hash browns thawed. And to that I'm going to add 6 tablespoons of melted butter. I use the light butter from Aldi. 1.5 teaspoons of salt and 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. And just mix those thoroughly. Until well combined. And then to make sure that I have the points right and make sure I have it evenly distributed between the individual servings, I'm going to weigh out my potatoes. In grams to see what is here. Okay. So it comes out to 950 grams of potatoes that we're going to divide into 6 individual oven-proof bowls. Okay, so each bowl has to have about 158 grams each. Get a better spoon. Okay, once all of your potatoes are in the bowl, you just take your fingers, kind of even it out all the way around the bowl and make a little nest. And this is where the filling is going to sit. And there you have it, all 6 bowls ready to be filled. And let's get started making the filling. Okay, to start the filling, we need to melt 1/4 cup of light butter in a saucepan. And then we're going to put, it calls for 1/2 cup of chopped onion. I'm not a huge onion fan, so I don't use quite that much. So I probably use about 1/3 cup of chopped onion into the butter, and we're gonna let that cook about 2 minutes until it's softened. Okay, to our cooked onion, we're gonna add 1/4 cup of flour, 2 teaspoons of chicken granules or instant chicken bouillon, and 1/2 teaspoon of dried basil. Mix that up. Cook that for a minute or 2 to let the raw flour cook out. Okay, once the raw flour has cooked out, we're going to add a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce, and then we're going to slowly add 2 cups of 1% milk. The original recipe that's linked below calls for 2% milk, but I did put a note in there that I only use 1% milk. Saves on a couple points. I'm just going to stir it until there's no lumps and it starts to get thick. And then we're going to continue to add the milk until all 2 cups are incorporated and the mixture's nice and thick. Okay, now that all the milk is incorporated and it's nice and thick, We're going to add in a 12-ounce bag of mixed vegetables that have been thawed, and 3 cups of cooked chicken that I have cubed. Turn off the heat and get that nice and combined. And then it'll be time to fill our potato shells. Okay, now we just have to fill our shells with our chicken mixture. I'm just gonna kind of eyeball it. I did not feel like weighing and measuring it out. And once they are all filled, they will go in the oven at 375 degrees for about 30 to 35 minutes until the potatoes are nice and cooked through and browned. We will be serving these tonight with some homemade applesauce and a nice green salad. And there we have it, our chicken and potato baskets, and they are 9 smart points per serving. Okay, the next up is our Hashbrown Breakfast Casserole. We need to start by partially cooking the hash browns. So we're gonna take some olive oil spray into a pan. Turn on the heat and put 20 ounces of O'Brien style hash browns into the pan. These are partially defrosted. And we are just going to let them cook until they're about 2/3 of the way cooked and a little bit brown. Okay, our potatoes are cooked. I decided to use the whole bag, the whole 28-ounce bag instead of just 20. It does add 1 point to each serving, but I'm fine with a 4-point breakfast. So I did do the whole 28-ounce bag, and we are just going to dump those into a greased 9x13 casserole. Spread those out. And just set that aside. And then in this bowl we have 8 eggs. We are just going to beat the eggs and add in some salt and pepper and anything else you would like, some garlic or onion powder or anything like that. Beat those up well. And then we have our 8 pieces of center cut bacon. The center cut bacon is lower point. And we're just going to give those a rough chop. We're going to pour the eggs over top of our potatoes. Try to even it out a little bit. And then just sprinkle the bacon over the top. We are going to cook this at 350 degrees for about 25 minutes. We'll divide it into 6 servings, each serving being 4 smart points. So the next thing I'm going to be meal prepping is some shrimp stir fry for lunch. Honestly, it's a little embarrassing to even show you this because it is so stinking easy, made with frozen vegetables and frozen shrimp. I'm just going to take pan, spray in some olive oil. And then add 2 bags of the steamed broccoli stir fry from Aldi that has been thawed. Helps if you cut it first. There's the first bag. And the second bag. And I'm just gonna let this cook up for a little bit until it's tender crisp. And then we will add the shrimp. I'm gonna add a little bit of soy sauce for some flavor. Let it cook down for a while. We'll finish it off with the shrimp and a little bit of sesame oil, and I will divide this into 3 lunches, and it will be 0 smart points per lunch. Okay, the vegetables are all cooked. So now we're just gonna add in some shrimp. That's about 12 ounces. I'm gonna throw in a little bit more soy sauce to coat the shrimp. It's probably about 3 tablespoons total. And then I'm going to finish it off with 1 teaspoon of sesame oil. And there you have it, a little bit of shrimp stir fry for a quick, low point, easy lunch. I'm going to divide this into 3 different servings and have it for lunch this week. Okay, our last thing we're going to be meal prepping are cheesy BBQ chicken taquitos. In this bowl I have 12 ounces of shredded chicken, 3 ounces of the Cabot 75% reduced fat cheddar cheese, 5 pieces of center cut bacon, rough chopped, cooked and rough chopped, and 1 cup of the G. Hughes Hickory barbecue sauce. We are going to mix this all up until it's well combined. The original recipe calls for them to be baked right away. What I am going to do is put them on the baking sheet, and I'm going to flash freeze them uncooked. And then when we're ready to eat them later in the week, I'll take them out, thaw them, and cook them then. Okay, we are all combined. And now we have 16 of the Mission yellow corn tortillas extra thin. I took half the batch and put them in the microwave to make them soft and pliable. I'm going to take my scoop and put about 2 scoops on the lower third, and then roll them up very tightly. And I'm going to do that with 16 of them. And here is our completed meal prep for today. Our Hashbrown Breakfast Casserole, which I told you I did end up putting all the hash browns in, so it's coming out to 4 smart points. It'll be cut into 6 servings and put into these containers, along with 2 links of the Butterball turkey sausage links that I showed you during my grocery haul. 1 link is 1 point, 2 links are 1 point, and 3 links are 2 points. And then we have our shrimp stir fry for lunch. And then our cheesy barbecue chicken taquitos, which I'm going to flash freeze on this pan. And then I'll put them in a freezer container and use them later on in the week. When I go to cook them, I'll just spray them with a little bit of olive oil spray and put them in my air fryer. This recipe came from Emily Bites. Check out her website. She has fantastic recipes. So there it is. There is my meal. Oh, I'm sorry. The taquitos are 2 points for 1, 4 points for 2, 5 points for 3, and 7 points for 4. The shrimp stir fry is 0 points, and I already told you this is 4 points. I am so sorry that I did not show you a completed dish for our dinner, the chicken and potato baskets. They ate it all before I could take any video. But you saw it before it went on in the oven, and honestly, it looks pretty much the same. It's just a little bit brown around the outside and a little crusty on the top. So that is my meal prep for this week. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, because that lets me know that you like what I'm doing. Have a great week, everyone. I will see you later in the week for What I Ate in a Day video. Bye-bye.